things where I'll be locked in, bro. I'll be ODing on Call of Duty, and it's like, I'm gonna try hard, bro. So I'm excited for the new goes, but yeah, man, if I could play the game for like, when you get into like competitive gaming, you have to have a PC, man. You have to have a PC. It's like,
yeah, but that's still.
Mom, we're gonna start in a bit. We're gonna start.
We're about to start. So y'all got.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm saying.
They can watch too if they want to watch whatever.
Y'all didn't have to get out.
get out. Well, get out then.
All right, my name's Max Goffman. This is my channel, MG Media. I'm here with Frank Nitti, my first interview person. Do you want to just introduce yourself and tell everybody about you?
Yeah, I got you. My name is Franklin Session. Everybody knows me as Frank Nitti. I had a really big following from Los Angeles, playing basketball in the Drew League, and just having one of the crazy stories from a guy who gave up his 9-to-5 to chase a dream, and it ended up working out. Yeah.
So just, can you tell me where are you from? Like, what was your childhood like, and just growing up, what was that like for you?
So where I'm from, Los Angeles, California. I grew up in the city of Watts, which is where we had Watts riots at back in the day. But it was pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy growing up there. Considering I lived in the vicinity of 4 different gangs. So it just depends on which way you walked, who was around you basically. So I lived on the back streets. The gang behind me was Fudge Town is what they were called. The gangs to the right of me was Grape Streets is what they were called. And then we also have Nickerson Gardens. And then we also have PJs. The PJs is actually where Training Day was shot, believe it or not. So if you guys look up Training Day, there's a scene with Denzel Washington and he robs the lady's like house. He steals like contraband as an undercover cop. And that's actually one of the hoods. I stayed like 2 blocks from there. So it was crazy growing up there. It taught me a lot. Taught me how to be aware. Taught me basically how to grow up faster than you need to grow up. Like a lot of people grow up as, you get to be a kid. Like we didn't get to be like kids, so to speak. We had to watch our surroundings, watch ourselves, watch the people. We had to pay attention a little early. Like I feel like sometimes growing up, you get to be green when you live in nice parts of the world and you don't have to worry about all those things. But us, we had to worry a little different. So that part was hard. But when you take that into like real life and you get to learning how people move, the way people act, you kind of get to learn human beings a little earlier than you need to. So growing up was a little difficult, but it helped me be who I am today.
Would you say, is there any like stories that kind of stick out to you growing up, or any memories? Just
any stories or memories, man, there's a lot. So
like you were saying that you like had to grow up faster than a kid had to, and like sort of become an adult.
Yeah. I mean, stories like, I think I was 13 at the time. So I was 13 at a time. There was 2 rival gangs going at each other. This is a time where I'm thinking I can go to the store and grab something really quick at 8 p.m. Yeah, let's say like 8 p.m. We had like corner stores that would stay open a little longer sometimes. And I thought, I would walk to the store and grab something. This is where I say, like, you got to kind of be aware. You don't get to be just green out in the world. I think now people walk around with their headphones on, not paying attention to what's around you. So at my time, I think I'm like 13, 14, and I'm walking to the store and like 6 guys are running through the alley with like the biggest guns I've ever seen in my life. Now I know it's an AK-47, but like back then you don't know what it is. You just see somebody carrying something running through the alley. And I thought it was crazy. Like, I didn't know what was going on, but it kind of hit you like, oh crap. And then you hear them say like, get back in the house, get back in the house, as they're running through the alley to, go shoot at a rival gang. But just like things like that were eye-opening to me. Like, holy crap, man, I can't do this. This isn't okay. I got to be more aware. I got to be more, I got to be smarter, basically. So that was a crazy one. I had another instance where I'm just outside playing with a girl I used to date, and a guy rolls up on a bike and put the gun right to my face and asked me, was I from one of the neighboring gangs? And I'm like, nah, I play basketball, bro. I don't even like, and me, like this, that's how I said it. Like with a guy with a gun in your face, most people like, it makes you numb to a lot of things. And at that point, it's like, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. So Watching movies and stuff, it changes my perception because I'm like, if you're used to it, you react differently. So just somebody having a gun in your face asking that, and you're just like, you're kind of like, no, bro, I play basketball. But in a split second, I could have died. Like I didn't think of that. I just think like, if he's gonna shoot me, he's gonna shoot me because he wants to shoot me. So that happened as well. I thought that was pretty crazy.
What do you mean, like watching movies? It changes your perspective. Like it's not
Because people
movies-
like panic in movies.
Yeah.
And like, there was no panic in me. It was more so like, damn, this is really happening. It's more like, this is what I'm used to. This is what I've seen. This is what I've heard. This is what I expect. Like I expect a guy riding down a bike or riding down the street on a bike looking shady to do some shady shit. So yeah, it's kind of like that. It's like people in movies, like they kind of panic, and kind of freak out. But I feel like once you're like numb to it, and you don't really know how to handle it, you don't freak out. You want to be like, that's why I say it helps you grow up faster than you want to.
Yeah.
Because at that time, I think at that time I was a little older. I was like 17, 18, probably 17 at that time. And it just, again, I've seen so much gun violence along the way later. Like, it's like, no, dude, like, if you're going to shoot me, you're going to shoot me. It's like, it was almost dumb. I remember the face I made when he asked me, because his exact verbiage was, "Where you from?" Fudgetown is what the gang was called, what I told you about. But the way he said it, he said it in a diss towards them.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, no, I play basketball, bro. Like that's literally how I said it. And he was like, oh, all right. Got on his bike and rode away. And it's crazy. I saw him like a week later. And I saw the house he walked out of and everything. And just like, damn, that's crazy. He's like a regular guy and he's really out here trying to kill somebody because of where he's from. So little things like that is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I heard this story just like what you said in the introduction, like in high school, of like you working at Verizon, like 9 to 5.
That was actually after JUCO, junior college.
Really?
Yeah, that was after junior college.
Just right after junior college?
Yeah, so that, let me see, I was at junior college.
You were the manager though, right?
Yeah, I ended up being a manager. Damn, no, that wasn't after junior college. That was after Cal State LA. Because I ended up breaking my hand after Cal State LA playing basketball, and then it was hard to get back into the groove of things. So I ended up going to find a job because it's like, bro, I can't keep chasing basketball. Like, this ain't working for me right now. Like, I got to provide. So at that point is after Cal State LA, and I couldn't get back in the swing of things, I went and got a job. Yeah.
What was your, like, sort of like, where were you at working at Verizon, like, mentally? If you could just, like, walk me through that.
Shit, that was crazy. You go from being like a really good basketball player to like breaking your hand, not being successful in a stint, and then it's like, holy crap, I gotta go get a job. And like me, like I'm not opposed to hard work. Like I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do, you know. So it doesn't bother me. Like I don't have the normal ego of a normal basketball player who's made it to, you know, a Division I school or whatever. I don't have that ego problem. So I went and got a job, and it wasn't bad. I liked working. I mean, you always work towards something. I feel like when you work towards something, it takes your mind out of the ego of things. Like, I could be doing this. No, like I'm going to work and make money. And then I'm going to try to be a manager. And then I want to be a district manager. And then I want to own my own stores. I want to run my own stores. Like that's where my mind was going.
Yeah.
But it ended up just being one of those things that I'm just like, all right, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to really do it. And it didn't get bad for me until I started to play in the Drew League a little more. I played the whole time, but then I kind of like locked in. It was technically my stay in shape thing. So like I used it to stay in shape, but I still worked. And that's where like the blow up of me started to happen at, is because I was that guy working at a cell phone store, but I was kicking everybody's butt that played in it. So it was like, holy crap, who's this guy? Why is he not playing? It started this like mass hysteria of like, bro, he's good enough. Why is he working a job? And like, it just messed up everybody's mental of like, should we chase the dream, or should we, you know, get a job, or should we just, you know, it just made everybody think like, God, if he's this good and he can't get on doing it or make it doing it, like, where does that leave us? It just created a lot of talk around me, myself, and then everybody when they look at their day-to-day lives.
I think that kind of goes into like my next question. Just during that whole time, did you like know that you were like as good or better than like a lot of those guys in the Drew? And just like, what's your mentality like each time you step onto the court?
No, I didn't know I was that much better. I never feel like I'm that much better. To this day, I don't feel like I'm that much better. I feel like I play harder than a lot of people. I think when it comes to like being better than someone at basketball, I think it has a lot to do with a bunch of different things. And I only have a couple things that are really good. So it's like, I don't see myself as better. I just try to learn every day, stay competitive. I feel like that's a big thing. A lot of people lose their competitive spirit. And then like, I'm always hungry. Like if I'm on the court, like my approach is like, I want to win every time. It got to a point where I was telling my peers, like, I like winning more than I like people. So it was one of those things where I just approached the game a little different. I feel like most people go in to just, oh, I want to go have fun, or I want to go drop 30, or I never went into any game like I want to go get 50. Like, I don't play that way.
Yeah.
I went in every game like I'm going to win this game at all costs. Like it could be 10 assists, 15 assists, like it could be 20 rebounds, like whatever it took to win that game is what I was going to try to do to win that game. And I think that's what separated me from a lot of different players. So that's just that was just my approach to every game. Like whatever it takes to win this game, I'm going to go do it. Guard the best player. If I need to score, I'll score. If I need to pass, I'll pass. And I think learning all that, like you need to rebound one game, you need to assist one game, you need to score one game, you need to lead one game. All that helped translate into like being a pro. And like that's when I started playing basketball overseas, when I was just like, okay, wait, I can lead a team, I can win championships, I can win MVPs. I can win Defensive Player of the Year. It's like I know what it takes to win, and I think that translated the best.
Was there a certain point when like it all clicked for you?
Yeah, when I got in the gym. I don't like working out. I hate it. It makes me tired. It makes my body hurt, and I feel like it wastes the cartilage in my knees. That's how my mind thinks. But that's when it clicked for me, when I started working out, it getting better and better, and then I started to see the work pay off. And then I used to always tell myself, trust the work. So when you're working out
like weights or like in the gym, like just training.
Reps. Yeah, reps. Yeah. I'm a reps guy. Like a lot of people need weights. A lot of people need bands and just all the crazy stuff. I didn't need any of that. At least to the degree I was at. Maybe if I was playing the NBA or something, I would need all that stuff because guys are bigger, stronger, faster. But where I was playing, what I was doing, I was obviously working a job. I didn't need to go lift the best weights to play against some guys in a pro-am league. It was just about being the best at what I was good at. So a lot of the times it was, okay, what is the defense going to give me?
Yeah.
Like I'm faster than most people still to this day. So it's like, okay, what is the defense going to give? They're going to give you the shot. Okay, when you start knocking down the shot, what are they going to take away from you? They're going to take away the shot. Okay, now your drive opens up. Now they start doubling you. Okay, what's left? The pass. So like little things like that helped me kind of mature in a sense of like learning how to play basketball.
Something that I noticed is that just throughout your career, you've just had a lot of rebounds. For a guy that's 6'2", at IVC, you had 10.5 rebounds. At the state tournament for Saddleback, 13.3 rebounds, 6.2 rebounds at Weber State. You averaged 7.6 rebounds at Cal State LA, 9.8 rebounds at Island Storm in Canada, 10.9 rebounds in Qatar. And for the team in Taiwan, you averaged 11.0 rebounds. For someone that's undersized in the basketball world, that's like 6'2", yeah. Could you like walk me through how you average so many rebounds per game? Is it a hustle thing?
It's effort. It's nothing else but effort, man. I mean, you can attribute it to my speed, my quickness, my athletic ability. But to be honest, like when I wasn't good in high school, like I wasn't that fast. I wasn't that athletic. I still like rebounded a lot. I just learned that early on. Like when I wasn't good, and when I say I wasn't good, I mean like offensively. Like I would miss wide open layups. Like there was a lot I couldn't do. Couldn't go left. Like there was a lot I couldn't do. But what kept me on the court is my ability to defend, hustle, effort, and rebounding. So I just took those with me along the way. So it was just like the more I can do this for teams and players, like the easier it makes the game. So if I can go get rebounds, I think at Weber State, I had 18 against, I think it was Sacramento. Was it Sacramento? It was one of the teams. I can go look it up. But I had 18 rebounds one game, and I got interviewed after, and I didn't think it was anything special until they told me.
Yeah.
And it was like 18 rebounds as a two guard in Division I is pretty big. I was like, oh crap, man! I've always loved to rebound. So, yeah, man, it's just one of those things that keeps you on the court. Coaches love it, and if you really listen to a lot of teams, they say defense and rebounding wins championships.
I'm surprised nobody's asked you that before.
Yeah, it's funny.
I'm glad I'm the first.
I know, right?
You were at Weber State. What was it like playing with like is it Weber or Weber?
It's Weber State.
Weber State. What was it like playing with Dame? And like when you're playing with them, did you like see that potential, like that he would become this great player?
No, not at all. My first year there, later in the year I did. But that's after I saw his work ethic and like what he like. That was my roommate. So playing with Dame was dope because you got to see a pro before you saw a pro. Like it's a mid-major. He was the only person scouted out of there. So you don't really see pros in that conference like that. But to see like to go to practice with him and then to go at him in practice was dope. Like we always brought that competitive spirit out of each other. I wish we got to play more against each other in practice, but they had us do a lot of like different drills and stuff. We didn't really get to compete as much as I would have liked to. That was one of my biggest issues there. And why I got into it with the coach so much. But it was dope, man, to watch him, the way he carried himself, to watch his work ethic, to watch how much work he put in. It's crazy because when I got there, I thought he was special. But as I saw the work he put in, as I saw how consistent he was, as I saw what he was averaging, as I saw how he was doing it, I was like, God, he's so good. It just opened my eyes, man. It's like seeing somebody really just be consistent through and through. And it was really dope to see. And then to really watch him elevate that even more by not going home for the summer when everybody misses home so much is like, holy crap, he's dedicated. And then I remember he's sitting in a room writing raps because he liked to rap. And I asked him seriously, I was like, bro, what you gonna do if basketball don't work out? And he looked at me like I was crazy. He was like, what are you talking about? It's gonna work out. I was like, oh crap. Yeah, and at that point I was like, yeah, he's the guy. He's the guy.
During that time, you're welcome to decline this question, but like you were dismissed from like Weber State? Weber State?
Uh-huh.
If you could like walk me through that, like when that happened, where were you at like mentally that moment? And looking back on that experience, is there anything that you learned from it that maybe in hindsight you're grateful for, or just...
That's a great, phenomenal question. The way you just worded it out was great. I'm gonna tell you why it was so great. Because one, hell yeah, it sucked getting dismissed from a team, and I will never dodge a question, so you don't have to worry about that. I am very comfortable with who I am. But I will say being dismissed from a team, this is why I say I butted heads with the coach a lot, because we didn't get to compete as much as I would have liked to compete. That was part of the issue. So I'll tell you the main issue. We would go from doing 5-on-5 to 5-on-0. Like, you know how hard it is to calm your body down from competing at a high level? And then what if somebody got the best of you that last game and you want to run it back and you don't get to, now you got to go play 5-on-0. Now you got to run dummy offense. Like, oh man, I'm a little smarter than most people, so I pick up offenses a little faster, and I want to do it like once or twice. I don't want to do it 5 or 6 times, but the good teams do it 5, 6, 10 times if they have to. And I didn't understand that at a young age because I was just young and dumb. So that was a big issue. I wish they disciplined me sooner, because they waited to the end of the year to discipline me, and when they did it, it made me want to clean up my act. But by that time, they were done with me. So the only thing I don't regret anything, because like I said, I like the way you worded the question, which I'll come back to it. I don't regret anything, but I just wish they disciplined me sooner. One thing I did like is that they sent me home. It turned me into a way better human being. I feel like a lot of the times people in the basketball world who are talented are never punished because they're so talented. I wasn't that talented, so you could punish me. I was newcomer of the year and everything. And Dame loved playing with me, but that wasn't enough. I was a butthole every day in practice, bro. Like if we had to play 5-on-0, our practice was boring to me. I just didn't compete. So for somebody who competes the way I compete, and then coaches would watch me in practice every day, take it for granted and be lazy. Like I just didn't like practice growing up. So like, again, it goes in line with like working out. Like I just want to compete. Like when I got to practice and work on things that don't like keep my mind sharp in the sense of competitive edge, it bothers me. And I learned later on to love it. But at that time, I was so young that I didn't really understand it. And then like in my mind, I wasn't good enough. So I never thought like, oh, I'm gonna make it to the NBA. That was never my goal. Like I never thought I was good enough. How can that be my goal if I never thought I was good enough? So I love that they sent me home. It humbled me, and it made me, you know, grow up a little more than I needed to at the time. And it literally made me say like, nobody's gonna put up with your shit. And once I saw that, I was like, all right, I gotta change. I'm too stubborn. I'm too arrogant. And it just, you know, it made me realize that my shit do stink, basically.
What are your next big ventures in the hoop world?
My next big ventures in the hoop world.
And my buddy was saying like, that was his question, but with Ball is Life and with the next movement, is that what it's called?
The next chapter.
Next chapter.
Yeah.
Get the ass.
Next chapter's fire. I haven't done anything for them. A lot of time, I don't do a lot of things for a lot of people because a lot of people think I'm just expensive. They think my time is very expensive, but like when you talk to me, man, I do a lot of different things.
Yeah.
So I don't try to, we consider it hitting people over the head. Like I don't try to hit you over the head with a book of like, I want this amount of money to like, I'm not even that guy, man. I kind of work with just a little bit of everybody depending on what it is and what I'm doing. But as far as next big ventures, everything, man, I'm gonna be dropping sweatsuits soon. Just some, you know, I want something that somebody can just be cozy in and kind of relax, take to the airport. That's a big thing we're working on. Gonna get the fit right. Gonna get like something I can wear throughout the day, wear it to a dinner. Like find a medium where I can, you know, where it works for everybody. That's a good venture. I have another thing coming up. It's pretty big. I can't say too much about it until it actually comes, but.
Any like acting or you see yourself doing that?
I always do. Dude, acting is so hard, man.
I tried it once. I'm like, it is not for me. Like I'm the worst actor.
It's so hard. There's classes for it. There's classes for it. And then a lot of it is just like being overly dramatic, bro. Like you just got to overly sell yourself sometimes. And it's hard for me too. But I do ad reads and stuff. I still go to castings for different acting roles and different things like that. I still model. So I do a lot of different things. So there's always more big ventures. I just booked 3 gigs for All-Star Weekend with Michelob Ultra, Hennessy, and Ball is Life.
Oh, wow.
So like there's always something going on, man. As long as I keep content going, as long as I'm marketable, as long as I'm working on a brand, I feel like there's always going to be another big venture. I feel like when I stop putting things out, then that's when people will stop looking for me. But as far as like this side of things, like I want to keep putting out different content and seeing what grabs and, you know, keep making money, just being creative. I think that's my favorite thing.
And when you're putting out content, I don't know, say for someone who's like trying to follow your footsteps, what advice would you give them?
Put out content. I feel like a lot of people, it sounds crazy, right?
Yeah.
Put out content. I follow a lot of content creators. I follow a lot of camera people. I do a lot of different work as far as like knowing what works, what the algorithm will take, what people like. I watch a lot of that stuff. And there's nothing better than putting out content. Like set yourself up for 30 days straight. Like a lot of the coolest people who've grown the dopest followings have done the 365-day challenge where they put out a piece of content every day. And like to do that is hard, man. And it sets you up for a schedule. It sets you up for a shot list. It sets you up for ideas. It just keeps you in a mode of being creative and constantly creating content. So I think that's one of the biggest tools, man. You just got to keep putting out content. Not everything is going to hit. Not everything's going to get you 1 million views. Like maybe nobody will see it or like it. But all you need is 1 or 2 people to see it and love it, and that's it. And I think people forget that. We get so caught up in 1 million views and going viral that we forget, like, man, a lot of people make great money with 6,000 followers. Like, it's not about, you know, how many followers you have. It's about the quality of content you're putting out.
Do you think, I don't know how old you are when you were at Verizon, but do you think that person would be surprised to see where you're at right now?
Oh God, yeah, man. What, are you crazy? It'd be insane. I can't even think of that life right now. Like going back to that life. Oh God. No.
How long ago was that? I think I was in high school.
7 years?
I was in high school when I first heard of you.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it was like 8 years ago. What am I, 36, 28?
2016?
I quit at 27. So it was My math is bad. 6:30 for 8 years. Yeah, 8 years. 8 years ago. So it was a point where it's like, do I want to stay? I literally had that conversation with my wife. I'm like, do I want to? Like, I was stable. I was making like 100K a year, bro. Like, that's solid for somebody who's from the hood, who didn't really have no motion or no real college degree going forward. But I knew I wanted more out of life. So it ended up always working out. But yeah, man, it was a crazy time. I couldn't even picture going back to work at a cell phone store. Man.
Was there a moment? I don't know, because I've done like retail most of my life and just trying to get out of, I don't know, trying to get like a real job. But like, was there a moment when you were doing that where like, that's it, like I can't do this anymore?
No, I like people.
Yeah,
I like people. So like jobs don't bother me. Like I understand that people have bad days. I understand that customers have bad days. I understand customers are unhappy. I think I was really good at it and I got to become a manager and I was going to excel and be other things. But I think I was really good at it because I can turn a problem into like somebody leaving happy. Like I was really good at that. So I feel like I tell people this to this day. One of the hardest things in life, and it's actually a talent, is to give somebody bad news in a good way. And I think people really suck at doing that. And I think I was really good at it. And once you actually listen to what somebody's problems are and you actually hear them, I think a lot of it could be tackled. Communication is one of the things that human beings are not good at. So I feel like once you get good at it, like you can handle pretty much anything.
Any tips to be like a better communicator?
Listen.
Okay.
Listen. It's weird, right? Yeah. Like to communicate is to talk, but a lot of people think talk. No, you listen, man. You listen to what people like. You listen to what they say. You listen to how they feel. You just listen. You just download, man. While somebody talks, just download, and then you speak from your experiences. And like I said, I grew up young. I grew up faster than I needed to, so I understand a little better than most. And I've lived technically 2 different lives. I've lived LA life, which is fast, dangerous, hectic, crazy. It's crazy. And then you move to Orange County for the second half of your life, and it's like, holy hell, this is how you guys live in Orange County. It's like really nice. So I've technically lived 2 different lives, so I understand people a little better than most.
Best piece of advice someone's given you?
Control what you can control. A lot of times we get in over our head because we try to control situations that are out of our control. Like what is it going to do for you trying to control something that you have no power over? I think that's one of the best things. So if it's in your vicinity, if it's something that you're tied into, it's something you can actually make a difference in the outcome, then try to control it. But for something that's out of your hands, man, like it's no point in worrying about it. Like you got to focus on being happy, being present.
You said something in a different interview that I thought was interesting. And I believe the context was like, I believe people were saying they kind of had assumed your goals were playing in the NBA.
Yeah.
And then you're talking about like different directions of like, I don't know, you just mentioned the word of like moving organically.
Yeah.
I don't know if you recall that conversation.
I tell everybody that I don't recall the conversation, but I know how I feel and when I say what I mean.
What do you mean by that? Like that?
So a lot of people say this about me, is I've had the most non-traditional path. Like I've made a way that's why I call my brand the Nitty Way. Like I've made a way that nobody ever thought like anybody could make a way. And it's just, I've done nothing. I won't say I've done nothing special, but I've done nothing out of the ordinary. I've only been organic through every approach. Through everybody I've met, I've been organic to the point. What I mean by organic is like, I'll say what I feel. I'm honest. I'll listen to everybody. I'll talk to everybody. I'll take advice from everybody. If it fits me, I'll give it a try. If it doesn't, I'll let somebody know like, I'm not really feeling that. And I feel like the choices I've made have helped me a lot. It's helped me with brands. It's helped me with people. A lot of the jobs I've had and the brands I've dealt with are from people or like referrals, believe it or not. Like people are like, no, I know a great guy who can do this, who can do that. And it ends up coming from that. And I don't think people realize if you move like genuine, organic, and you really like, you just be a good person at the end of the day. It'll take you further than having all the followers and all the other stuff that comes with it. Like, I've never been a guy to really like harp on, oh, I want this or I need this. Like, all I try to do as I excel in life is kind of just help people along the way, and then just be genuine in every approach. If I like it, I'll tell you about it. If I can help in any way, I'll help. So that's just what I mean by organic.
What do you credit your success to?
A team. You need a team, man. God, you need a team. My success is credited to, if I went down the line, I can tell you how it went. If I went down the line, I was terrible in high school. I had one coach who believed in me and needed me for high school, Van Myers. He started the path. After high school, 12th grade, like I said, I was terrible. So I only had one person recruit me, Andy Brown. He brought me to Irvine Valley College. After he got the job from Irvine Valley College, he went to Saddleback as a head coach because he was an assistant at Irvine. And he gave me a starting role after riding the bench for a whole year. That helped me a lot. After that, I'll drop back to playing in the Drew League. The game, the rapper, the game. He helped me a lot. He gave me I won't say he gave me anything. I will say he saw my potential. And he used to bring a lot of NBA players on his team to try to win a championship in the Drew League because it was so hard to win. But they're inconsistent sometimes in the sense of showing up. So he needs somebody consistent who can be there every weekend. And he saw the potential in me, and he gave me a spot on one of the most hyped teams in the city at the time. So every time he came out, he brought, obviously, the rapper of the game is one of the pivotal people in LA. He brought out celebs, he brought out NBA friends, he brought out everybody. So like, it was like a thing to be at. So to be playing for him, he put me in a position of spotlight. And then as I'm taking down different NBA players and going crazy, he used to post me a lot. And then he started the whole, why is he not an NBA thing?
Yeah.
And then that kind of just, it took and ran with it. And then I got in the gym with my trainer, Keon, for the first time at age 28. And he helped me with a lot of things as far as like turning into a pro, like trying to figure out how things work, figuring out how to play, what shots to take, fixing little tweaks I had in my game. That helped tremendously. And then after Keon, it's like I'm missing somebody. Van Myers, Chuck, Keon. Oh, I hate missing people. I think I'm missing somebody. But basically, a team. So I would say my high school coach, my JUCO coach, my guy Chuck, game is what everybody knows him by. And after that, my trainer. So I would say those four people were like very in the basketball sense. Every one of those people kept pushing me towards basketball when I didn't want to play it. So it just helped out like along the way, basically.
You have like a very like non-traditional path. Also just in regards to like basketball too, because you became a pro after the Drew League. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you could have been more so in your prime if you tried going before?
Yeah, they offer me jobs at the age of 23, 24, 25 overseas, but I didn't want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I hear the worst stories about overseas, but what people don't tell you when you hear the worst stories, those are the people who aren't that good. So I was listening to
I've heard some bad stories. Yeah.
But I've listened to those stories from people who aren't that good. I've won in every country I've been in, and I've had success in every country I've been in. So it's like they're going to treat me a little differently because I was a dominant force, because I was somebody that locals really liked and looked up to. So I feel like my way was a little different than other guys' way. I think their path were a little different because they were treated differently. But I was treated great. So I loved overseas, to be honest. I just didn't like being away from home that long.
Yeah. So you played in, let's see if I get this right, Qatari, Canada, and Taiwan. What was your favorite country to play in and why? Is that correct?
It's Qatar.
Qatar.
So it's Qatar. So it was Canada first, Qatar second, Taiwan, and then I kind of dibble back and forth because I like Qatar the best. I like Qatar. They call it Qatar, but I like Qatar the best. As Americans call it Qatar because it's Americanized. It's Americanized. The food's there really good. It's like being home, low key. You just don't have your family, to be honest. The malls are nice. My guy Batter's there. Shout out my guy Batter, man. Man kept me sane overseas. Oh man, yeah, Qatar was it. Qatar was it for me. I love Taiwan though. I love Taiwan because I love the locals that I played with. Man, they still message me to this day. And it's crazy. They don't even speak English, but like we just developed that dope relationship that we didn't need, we didn't need a language to actually like body language and like laughter and all that was like contagious with us. So it was second. It was second. I hated playing in Canada. Oh man.
Were you in Ontario? Or?
No, I was in PEI, Prince Edward Island, man.
I don't know where that is.
Yeah, exactly. I had a great host family there though. Another good family is the Stewart family, Brandon Stewart. They were awesome too. I just had a lot of great people help me along the way. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like I feel like everybody picked up on the person I was, and then again, just moving organically and genuinely. I feel like it pushed me like towards all the best people, and all the best people just helped me when I didn't ask for help.
So would you say like being authentic and a good person helps people become successful?
I think authentic, yes. I think a good person is subjective because that's perspective.
It's true.
That's what someone else thinks.
Yeah.
I don't care what other people think. I'm probably a lot of bad to a lot of different people. I talk a lot of crap on the court. I belittle people at times on the court. Those are people's brothers, sisters, sons. Like, I'm sure I'm a butthole to a lot of other people, but when you meet me off court, like, I'm one of the chillest dudes, man. I don't really bother anybody. I don't want anything. You around me, man, we're going to get some good laughs, eat some good food, and play some basketball at some point. So I attribute it to that.
People oftentimes, like, see success as just, like, an overnight thing. They might look at your profile and just, like, not see it as like a given, but won't see like the process it took for you to get there. Were there like a lot of failures before getting to the point where you're at right now, just as like a professional basketball player, influencer?
Yeah, there's a lot of failure in everything you do. I feel like there's times I tried basketball, it didn't work. There's times I tried to influence and it didn't really do anything for me. I just think, like I said, just constantly being creative, constantly putting out content, just being confident in whatever it is you're doing, I feel like has attributed to my success. And like I do so many different types of content, like something's going to take. So if gaming doesn't work that day, modeling works this day. If modeling doesn't work, basketball will work. If basketball doesn't work, ad reads or commercial or something will work. There's always something that's going to work for me. I'm just not, not one of those guys who sit around and like, that didn't work. That's all I got. Like, I don't ever want to be a one-trick pony. So I feel like being able to do so many different things helps me out.
What do you want your legacy to be? Like, looking back?
I don't really think about legacy like that, man. Like,
or how do you want people to remember you?
I know that's a better question. Like, how do I want people to remember me as? God, it's hard when you don't care. But I just want people to like, if you say anything, it's funny. I just saw a message that Shy got the other day from somebody, and he was like, they hear a lot of wisdom pour out of me. And I thought that was cool because I've never heard anybody say that about me before. Or I've never heard it from anybody. So to see that actually was like cool because somebody was asking her about, hey, your best friend's Frank, like how is he and things like that. And she was kind of telling me, he was like, yeah, I've heard great things and they hear a lot of wisdom. I just want people to like, man, he was genuine, he was caring, and he helped who he could. Like, I don't really care about anything else.
Here's just a fun question. Top 5 favorite artists, musicians. You mentioned the game later. You might have to like include them in there, but who would you say is like your top favorite all time?
The game, my homie. So like, I can't really just be like the game. That's like bias. If I'm gonna put something on, like he got bangers that I love, but if I'm gonna put something on that I like really jam to. Like I'm like an R&B guy, man.
Same.
I love R&B, but
What kind of R&B?
I listen to like if it has a good sound, I'll listen to it. Like it can go from country to Julia Michaels. It can go from Colby Calais to bubbly. Like it can literally be anything that is like a good sound. But if I had to choose artists, I would choose Drake, Giveon, Friday, Lil Baby, and Drake, Giveon, Friday, Lil Baby, Usher. Nope, Chris Brown. Chris Brown. Yeah, Drake, Giveon, Friday, Chris Brown. Damn, what am I missing? Drake, Giveon, Friday, Chris Brown, Lil Baby. I would go that.
Any of those people, like I'm sure you've met like musicians, like anybody that's like stood out to you that was like really nice, like not what they seem like on TV.
I've talked to Drake. Drake's mad cool. Friends with Chris Brown. That's my guy. I appreciate him. Shout out Chris Brown, man. He got me and my family tickets to his concert, dope seats and everything. Good guy. And those two guys are like superstars. So it's crazy that they're just so cool and chill, man. I've never met Friday. I've never met Lil Baby. Game is actually he gets a lot of bad rep. But he's probably one of the most genuine people I've ever met. So he's not like he seems. Artist wise, kind of met a lot of people. Blast was pretty cool. He was pretty humble, chill. He knew who I was. That was dope. It's always cool to see like the celebrities that like know who you are. I feel like that's really cool sometimes. It's like you've done enough to, ring a few bells. But yeah, most people I meet, like when I'm in those type of rooms or when I'm around those people, like they're all pretty normal, man. I just feel like they're not normal when people like act a different way or fan out over them. Yeah. Like you, at that point, you're not treating them like a human being. Like I've been around a lot of NBA players, a lot of celebrities, man. At the end of the day, they put their shoes and their pants on just like you do. Like they're human beings. So I tend not to get caught up in that. So yeah, a lot of them are super cool.
I don't know why that just reminded me. Like I ran into Tyson Chandler when I was in high school at Fashion Island.
Yeah.
And like just like the chillest dude like ever. And he was just like I don't know, like we were just like casual conversation. Yeah. He's like, we're asking them like, where do we go to like find girls or whatever? Just like something like dumb, like
they're always chill, man. Yeah. It's just it gets a little weird when people fan out and freak out and start treating them like they're not human beings, and then you'll get a different response.
Next question. Let's see. What do you like to do in your free time?
Call of Duty, snowboard, movies, TV shows.
Favorite movies and TV shows?
Dark Knight. Dark Knight,
It, the Stephen King one?
Yeah.
Chapter 1 or Chapter 2?
All of them. I like the first one they put out with
First one's really good.
First one's amazing. It's 3 hours long. I never realized that. It's amazing. And then they followed it up with Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, who are both great. My wife's actually getting that tattooed tomorrow, and I have that tattooed. So.
Wait, you mean first one, like the one from like the 80s? That one?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one.
What? There's no way you've never seen that one,
I was referring to Chapter 1. That one's really good, but I got to watch that.
Wow, you haven't seen the first one?
No.
Oh, the first one's a game changer. It's different.
Yeah.
You're going to like the new ones more because that's just your speed. It's what you like. But when I watched the other one growing up, man, he was terrifying to me. So, yeah, you got to watch the first one. It's a little silly and the CGI gets bad, but it's in the 80s, bro. Just take it for what it's worth. The storyline's really good, and he kills it as a clown. TV show-wise, TV show, I've watched everything, bro. I've watched everything. It's crazy. Like, if I was to go to, like, crazy plot twists, it's a TV show on Netflix that came out in 2019 called Behind Her Eyes. It's probably one of the craziest endings to a show I've ever watched. That's really good. God, I would have to go down the list for TV shows. It's too many, man. I watch too much TV. Way too much TV. So
you mentioned Bridgerton last time I was here.
Bridgerton is one of my favorite shows.
Were you serious?
Yes, bro. I wanted to have a Bridgerton ball for my birthday.
dead ass. I want to have a Bridgerton ball and have everybody come dressed up like that. I think that shit's so fly. Bro.
What makes that show so appealing? Why do you like it?
It's life, to be honest. Like when you go to parties, like they're messy like that. People gossip like that. I think mixing in class is really cool. I like the dukes and the queens, and I think that side of life is dope. Like everybody's very well spoken. They speak differently. Like I even want to talk like that. I think that's the dopest shit ever. I just feel like that time was just better. Like it's better. So I just like everything. I like the outfits. Only thing that missed me with is the hair, but I would put one of those wigs on if I had a Bridgerton ball. I ain't gonna lie. So I really mess with the whole ordeal. They kill that.
How does it feel to be not only just an inspiration to kids from your hometown, from Watts, correct?
Yeah.
But also just like kids in general or hoopers, influencers, just how does it feel to be an inspiration to people?
I think it's dope. I think that's one of the best compliments I can get for the most part, outside of the wisdom compliment. I think Kobe Bryant said it best. He said one of the greatest acts of a human being is to inspire. So I feel like just me being genuinely me and going about my path the way I did, it inspired a lot of people, to keep chasing their dreams. So I like it. I think it's dope.
This is from my mom, actually, this question.
Love that.
Where does that, you kind of mentioned it earlier, just being organic, genuine, where would you say that comes from? Like she was just describing you as being down to earth, like at my sister's games, like acknowledging all the parents and just being really friendly, and just like, like when people, when people are talking to you and they're not really talking to you, but you're actually like speaking to them, you're listening to them, hearing them out. And I don't know, like, where would you say that just comes from? Like you being like a good person?
Like I said earlier in the interview, I just love people, man. And you learn so much by talking to somebody. And like, I am who I am. Like, I don't ever want somebody to see me as not approachable. Like I said, I don't care what people think, but if you're going to be in a vicinity of other people, you still want to be able to be in contact. You still want to be able to be a part of something. Like I don't want to just walk in a gym and I'm Frank Needy. I don't ever want to be that. I want to walk in the gym and be like everybody else. I want to walk in and say hi to everybody, communicate to everybody, talk to everybody, laugh with everybody, relate to everybody. And then again, if I can help everybody, I'll try to help everybody. But I don't ever want to just walk in the gym and just act like I'm too good for anybody.
Like not to compare you to like other people, but like sure, there's like a lot of hoopers and I don't know, celebrities like that do that, and they don't have to like talk to people. Like they're entitled to like act however they do. So it's almost refreshing that like you want to like just, I don't know, engage with people and be nice.
I just think it's a little different for them because like, especially the ones I know, like there's no off switch for them. There's an off switch for me. I can go somewhere and somebody will not know me. So like, it's nice when somebody knows me, but like Chris Brown can't just go to the grocery store, but like there girls, like people will like swarm him for pictures. Like it's crazy. So with them, it's a little different. I can see why. That I hear that sometimes they say like out of their mouths, there's no off switch for it. Like it's always somebody want a picture or want to swarm them or want a hug or an autograph or something. So I feel like that's a little different than mine. I am well known to an extent. But again, like even if I was astronomically well known like them, I would be the same way. Like it would normal. I feel like the more you do and take, the more it normalizes you. The less pictures you take, the less people you hug and touch, like it makes it like, he's untouchable. Like, and people, like forbidden fruit's a thing. People want to touch and have what they can't have. So it makes it a little different. But yeah, I just love people, man. Seeing everybody go through life a little differently makes me want to, if I can put a hand in and touch and help where I can, I just feel like it's dope. Like at the end of the day, people do know who I am. So if I can leave a room and somebody can say, oh, that's who he was, and I had a great conversation, he didn't even bring it up, or I didn't even know that's who he was or what he did, and it's like we're normal. I feel like that goes a long way. Like I said, a lot of my jobs that I've had have come from referrals. It just come from me being genuine to everybody I meet. Like I don't treat anybody lesser than, and I think that's how life should be. But people don't live that way, so it's a little different.
I feel like a lot of people have that story, like when they were younger that they met someone famous or like an athlete or something like that? Do you have a story like that?
Not where I grew up at, man. You don't really meet. You don't meet. There's nobody coming to the hood. Let's just be honest. But later in the Drew, you start to meet celebs. I think my first encounter with NBA players was like 2000. What was it called? Like 2012, 2011. Yeah. Gilbert Arenas was like one of my first guys that I went up against, met. Nick Young back in the day was, by that time, I think he gave me like 40 in like 2009. He was impossible to guard. Just seeing how an NBA athlete moves, how tall, long, skilled they are was just like super cool to me. But I still treated them the same way, even as a young guy with nothing. Like, oh man, good game. Like, yeah, bro, you got game. It was just respect the whole time. And I feel like it was never, like, there's not one person I played against or with that can be like, oh, Frank didn't respect me or Frank treated me like, nah. Like, if we went to battle, and then after, like, no, it's all love at the end of the day. That's just how I compete. So even when people got the best of me, it was the same exact way.
Different question. Just a fun one. Like, how did you and your wife meet?
We met in JUCO, actually. She used to do everybody homework, man. Yeah. She used to do everybody homework. So
at IVC?
At Saddleback. Yeah. So we actually always ended up in the same circles. We always saw each other, and we ended up at parties together and stuff like that. But we didn't start like hitting it off until like later in the year, when the year started to die out. And when the years start to die out and you kind of like aren't at sporting events, and you kind of hang with who you want to hang with, so it's not so judged anymore. And we kind of just hung out a lot with each other. Like, sporting stuff was over. It was just like, well, just hang out. And it just, one thing led to another.
I don't know why that is, but like, I always feel like the best relationships, or like the relationships that last the longest, are like people that met in college. Or like, do you think there's any like rhyme or reason to that? Or
you're old enough. You're old enough. You know what you want. You know what you expect. You know how you want to be treated at that point. I mean, I was 23 at that point. 22. I don't know. I was younger, but you still know what you want. Like, high school doesn't count.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. But college, like, you have a little more idea how people are. Like, you know, it just makes a little more sense at that age. And then, especially when you find somebody like her, like, she's a rock, bro. So when you find somebody that's going to hold you down, support you, and
do you say like
when you know, yeah.
When you know,
yeah. I said it, and I said it really early. All right, I told her dad, we come back from a football game. I can go find the picture. We come back from a football game. Chargers played somebody, and we were all laughing and shit. And I told her dad, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna marry her. Like, I'm not. It's not a thought in my mind. So it's not a lot of women who bring you the type of peace and support and just like friendship, like, before anything, all the other great stuff. Like, that basis of relationship was like new to me. Like, I never had somebody to bring all that in one. I was like, holy moly, she's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Best player you've gone against and the most overrated. We're almost done.
Best player.
Best player I've gone against, I'm gonna say, is James Harden. Yeah, I think James Harden's like the best because he's still really, really awesome. The most overrated. I don't like disrespecting people.
I don't want to get you in trouble.
Yeah, I don't like disrespecting
Maybe
people.
like, let me think of a different question.
Who didn't surprise me?
Yeah.
We can say that. Like, who I thought they would be a little better. If I was to answer that, it would be, who did I think would have been a little better?
You can pass too if you want.
Yeah, I'm going to pass on that one because everybody's going to take that and run with it. And I know what everybody's going to say, so I'm just going to pass on that one.
Let me see, next one. There we go. Most misunderstood, like, player.
Who's the most misunderstood? Russell Westbrook.
Why?
Everybody, I mean, you can see his heart out on the court every game. He doesn't miss games. He shows up for everything. He has the best attitude. great guy. And when you talk to people who've played with him, they will tell you he is the best teammate, the best veteran. Literally, people say he's the best teammate he's ever had. And every time I talk to him, like I've met him a bunch of times, but every time I talk to him, man, he's the most down to earth guy, like super chill, super cool, super really misunderstood. I think he's the most misunderstood athlete I've ever seen.
That's it. If there's anything else you want to say, or
Nah, I can't think of anything else. Y'all don't got nothing else? Y'all good?
Josh, do you have any questions?
Do I have any questions?
Yeah, just from that whole conversation.
I mean, I think you said a lot.
Yeah.
Good conversation out. I mean, I don't know too much about basketball and stuff. So
Gotcha. Yeah, nah,
it's not mine.
I'm good. I'm good if y'all good.
I think. Let me think of one last question to wrap it up. What would you say is moving forward, like your goals? That with everything that you've accomplished so far in your life, like, I don't know, what's something that like makes you happy, or like something you want to do more of?
I want to snowboard more. I literally want to snow. That's all I want to do. I'm not gonna lie to you. I want to be really, really good at snowboarding. I'm not gonna lie. There's nothing else that's like when I think about it, like I just built an in-home studio for like modeling, so I'm gonna do a lot more modeling. That's gonna be fun, but really just there's like between being creative, like with a camera, modeling, snowboarding, and playing video games. Bro, I'm a big kid. I want to be able to make enough to where I can just snowboard as much as I want, play video games as much as I want, and just capture dope moments. Other than that, I'm pretty simple, man. I don't have some big lists. I don't want to own a bunch of crazy stuff, man. I just want to live comfortably.
I just thought of a last question. Would you say, is there anything like different from like before becoming like famous to like you wish you knew before, where like you weren't ready for that?
Yeah.
Any pros and cons?
Yeah, your friends changing on you. Yeah, I wish I knew what it was going to be like. Like when you get a little bit of fame, like they always say fame changes you or money changes you. It doesn't change you. It changes the people around you. Because it's crazy when you start to vent to people about what you're dealing with, what you're going through, and they pocket the things you're saying that doesn't benefit them, and they use those against you. And to say you changed because you don't enable them anymore is pretty crazy to me. I thought that was eye-opening. That was one of the craziest things that's happened to me in the past 2 years. I've had friends change, and I didn't see it. And when you ask them, like I'm a person that can talk to anybody with an indifference. What bothered you? Like I want to know what part bothered you. And when they start to run off things that include like money and like intangible things that really don't matter, it shows you like who people really are. So I think that was one of the most shocking things that I've dealt with in my older age. I think a lot of people have hidden agendas, and I wish I could have prepared myself for that. Yeah.
How are you able to separate like genuine friends from people that might not have like your best interest? Yeah.
Can't. It's impossible. They'll show you, and then you just gotta take what they're showing you and get the hell away. But I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give a chance. That's just me. I'm as good as I can be to human beings. So it's like I'm going to be the best version of me that I'm used to being. And then once you show me you're going to do some weird shit, and I'm just going to remove myself and back up a little bit. But yeah, I give everybody the option to choose. It's one of my favorite things to say. Like, give a person the option to choose, see what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I think that's it.
Yeah, that's how you find them.
Like, yes, Muhammad Ali said,
Yep.
10,000 snakes.
Yeah.
1,000 of them that don't want to harm you.
Yeah.
You gotta keep going through people.
Yep.
Trial and error every time.
That's what it is. It's experiences, man. Experiences they're the biggest teacher in life. Their experiences are a biggest teacher. And people show you who they are immediately. Now, are you smart enough to get away? Or are you going to stand it because you like the fun that they bring? So a lot of those people are fun, but a lot of people are toxic and envious and jealous and have hidden agendas and want you to take care of them. And those people I kind of just stay away from. I don't really want to deal with people like that.
Yeah, for sure. Intentions.
I think I've taken enough of your time. Thank you
It's all
so much
good.
for coming.
one.
I got you.
I got one for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, if it was a pivotal moment in your life
Yeah.
where you really found yourself, because I feel like that's why a big key thing for everybody is
Yeah.
to know who they are,
Yeah.
and then they can exceed in life because they're content with themselves.
Yeah.
They know what they're going for, and I think that's when you truly start to live and find yourself.
Yeah, that's when I became happy. I'm not gonna lie to you. Once I figured out, okay, what I want, like once I figured out, I just want to be stable. I don't need the most money. I don't need the biggest job. I don't need to be in the NBA. That brought me a different type of happiness. Once I figured out how people are, that brought me a different type of happiness. Like, I've seen this before. That brought me a different type of happiness. Knowing how I am. And I think one of the dopest things I do as a person is I set boundaries. I can tell a person, no matter who it is, this is what I like, this is how I am, this is what it is. You with that, cool. If not, then I understand. Go about your way. I'm gonna go about my way. I think a lot of people are too afraid to lose people, are too eager to be around other people, that they don't set those boundaries. I'm always gonna set those boundaries. I don't care to lose anybody. So if we're gonna build and be happy and have fun and live this great life, we need to be on the same page. If we're not on the same page, go find you somebody that's on your page. And I feel like the more you give people that option to choose whether to be there for you or not to be there for you, life will be a lot easier for you, man. A lot of people entertain people they don't need to entertain. If you really think about it, man, a lot of people waste their time with people that are just doing crazy stuff. And it's like, why associate yourself with those people? Like, what's the point? Like, they're just going to dim your light.
Yeah, and I think that's like the confused reality, especially nowadays. You got everybody, false perception of life, everybody faking this, faking that. And, viewers, they're struggling to identify with themselves, who they are.
Yeah.
And they keep dabbling in with different types of crowds and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think what you're saying is like when you have your own boundaries set up, you start to then find who you are.
Yeah.
From distance yourself from different people who aren't focused on your goals.
Yeah.
That you are.
100%. 100%. I wouldn't be who I am today if I didn't realize, okay, this is who I am, this is what I want, this is where I want to go. Like, that's my mindset all the time. Anybody in the middle or beginning is distracting that is gonna get cut. Like, I'm not here to waste my time. I'm not here to do side missions. I'm trying to stay on the main story, man. Whatever that is, let's get through that and have fun doing it, man. Because if you really think about like all the stress, trauma, and like toxic shit in your life, bro, it's from the choices you make. Like, if you make the right choices to stay away from the toxic environments and toxic people, you don't have toxicity in your life. It's real simple, but people straddle the line with, oh, this is fun, or this person's fun, or this person has this, so I want to be around them, or this is cool, so I want to be over there. Nah, I've turned down countless house parties with celebs, millionaires, and I've turned down countless, studio sessions. There's a lot of stuff I haven't been to just because I'm like, it's not going to benefit my happiness. And I think a lot of people don't know what true happiness is. So it's a struggle for people. They think happiness is that dopamine you get when you're out with a bunch of cool people, and it's just, it's hype and it's fun. It's a great time, but that's not happiness. You're just enjoying a moment. And people get lost in a bunch of those little moments. And I don't get lost in those. I'm on the main course, man. I'm trying to stay what makes me happy, what's going to keep the family happy, keep the home stable, and just keep life going in a positive direction.
That's cool.
Yeah. Would you say when you're faced with those choices, you just kind of like look at the big picture and equate this like small moment to like, I worded that really poorly.
No, you did it. I see what you're saying. I'm always present. I think that helps. Being present helps. If I'm present and it's a little moment that I think is not for me, I'm present and I'm going to acknowledge that it's not for me. And when I'm done with that moment, I'm done with that moment. I don't want to go back to that moment. I don't want to try to reenact that moment or go back to that moment. Nothing. Like, if I that wasn't for me. I was in it. And there's sometimes, again, you're in circles that you can't get out of. What are you going to do? Like, just indulge in the moment. And then after that, get out of it. And then just know that you don't want to be back to that. It's that simple. And a lot of people, like I say, get lost in those little moments. You like a little part of that, so you want to go back to it. It's like that ex. You like that she's a great partner. Let's say she's a great sex partner, but she's terrible at everything else.
Yeah.
So you're going to keep going back. She's great. So you know she's bad at everything else. Why go back for the sex? Everybody has sex. So it's like you can find that anywhere else. So it's literally like you struggling with that push and pull.
I think for some people, like change is like scary.
It
so
is. Oh,
That's
it's
why
scary to me too.
Not just relationships, but like for anything. I feel like myself included, just comfort is what people want.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's hard for people to change from one thing to another.
Yeah. It's scary as hell. It's uncomfortable. But I'm gonna tell you the best thing I've heard too. Nothing grows in a comfort zone. Nothing grows in the comfort zone. So if you're constantly comfortable, you're not growing. You're just doing the same comfortable thing over and over. So, I always try to keep that in mind. Like, am I too comfortable? Like, should I be doing more? Life, I'm not even lying. If I had the means to coast, I would. This would be my schedule: gaming in the morning, snowboarding after a couple hours of gaming, dinner, movie, TV shows, whatever with the wife and kid. Like it would be literally that. I wouldn't even do anything outside of that, man. I would literally have that as like my everyday thing, bro. Just because I enjoy that the most.
Something that I noticed is that just throughout your career, you've just had a lot of rebounds. For a guy that's 6'2", at IVC, you had 10.5 rebounds. At the state tournament for Saddleback, 13.3 rebounds, 6.2 rebounds at Weber State. You averaged 7.6 rebounds at Cal State LA, 9.8 rebounds at Island Storm in Canada, 10.9 rebounds in Qatar. And for the team in Taiwan, you averaged 11.0 rebounds. For someone that's undersized in the basketball world, that's like 6'2",
Yeah.
could you like walk me through how you average so many rebounds per game?
Is
it a hustle thing?
It's effort. It's effort. It's nothing else but effort, man. I mean, you can attribute it to my speed, my quickness, my athletic ability. But to be honest, like when I wasn't good in high school, like I wasn't that fast, I wasn't that athletic. I still like rebounded a lot. I just learned that early on. Like when I wasn't good, and when I say I wasn't good, I mean like offensively. Like I would miss wide open layups. Like there was a lot I couldn't do. Couldn't go left. Like there was a lot I couldn't do. But what kept me on the court is my ability to defend, hustle, effort, and rebounding. So I just took those with me along the way. So it's just like the more I can do this for teams and players, like the easier it makes the game. So if I can go get rebounds, I think at Weber State, I had 18 against, I think it was Sacramento. Was it Sacramento? It was one of the teams. I can go look it up. But I had 18 rebounds one game, and I got interviewed after, and I didn't think it was anything special until they told me.
Yeah.
And it was like 18 rebounds as a 2-guard in Division I is pretty big. I was like, oh, crap, man. I've always loved to rebound. So, yeah, man, it's just one of those things that keeps you on the court. Coaches love it. And if you really listen to a lot of teams, they say defense and rebounding wins championships.
I'm surprised nobody's asked you that before.
Yeah, it's funny.
I'm glad I'm the first.
I know, right?
You were at Weber State. What was it like playing with is it Weber or Weber?
It's Weber State.
Weber State. What was it like playing with Dame? And like when you're playing with them, did you like see that potential, like that he would become this great player?
No, not at all. My first year.